In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the prettiest acrylic painted wooden earrings in under 15 minutes. Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here, and today I'm going to show you a super easy way to save some money on gifts for your family and friends by making these adorable wooden earrings with just a few items from your local craft store. So these are so easy that even a 5-year-old can do it. Well, with some help from an adult when it comes to attaching the earring wires. Now I'm going to give you a tip. Not including drying time, these earrings can be made in under 15 minutes. But if you'd like to make these as gifts or to sell, I recommend that you create these in batches, meaning prime them all at once, then gesso them, then paint them, and then assemble them. Doing it this way gets you into the groove and things move along so much faster. So what you're going to need is, talk about the earrings, and you can pick these up on Amazon. You can get things like this at Michael's. They have, little wood craft things, and you just have to poke a hole in it. You can do that with an awl, but you can get this stuff at Amazon. The wires and the earring wires and the jump rings as well can be picked up at Michael's and Amazon. Michael's has a lot of selection as well. They have silver and brass and some really nice choices, and they have them in smaller packages so you don't have to make a huge investment. So get a coupon and try that. Now, I don't know where you are in the world. You may have other craft stores, but we have Michael's and that's it. Pliers, some flat needle nose pliers, and I'm going to use 2 because I like to work both, and I don't have any serration lines on this, so it's not going to mark up the wires. For the paints, I'm going to use DecoArt product. So to prep the wood, I'm going to use a DecoArt Americana multi-purpose sealer. And then I'm going to use the DecoArt Media Gesso to prime it black. And then I'm going to use the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics, the Interference Magenta, which will give it a nice shimmery look. I'm going to work the edges. Now these are cut on a CNC machine. Some of you may have heard of a forge, and it's a burn. It's cut, and it's just laser cut, so which is why you have that dark wood edge, and you can leave it like that or you can paint it. I'm going to paint it with the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics Metallic Silver, and then when that's all said and done, I'm going to give it a varnish with DuraClear Gloss Varnish. Now this is the DecoArt Polyurethane Varnish, okay, indoor outdoor. You can use the DecoArt Media Varnish, but that's for indoor use. And how many times you've been caught in the rain? So this is my go-to. The DuraClear line, I use that for everything now. All right, so let's just get started. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I have my jewelry mat. What happens is that if something falls and if it hits this, it stays here and doesn't bounce on the floor. But I'm going to paint this first. So the sealer, the purpose of that is basically to seal the wood. I had to stop. Joe just surprised me. He's making me a shelf for all my paints because I've been complaining that I can't find anything. All right, so we're just going to apply, and you only need a coat of this. And this is just going to help seal everything. And the whole thing with this is for to protect for outdoor use. It also helps the paint go on, because a lot of times when you're buying wood like this, you don't know where it was made, so it's always best just to prime and gesso just to be safe. And that for drying time, that only takes a couple of minutes, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it, do the other side, come back, and then we'll gesso. Oh, and I wanted to give you another tip. So if you're creating, them in batches, just take some galvanized wire. You can pick this up. I got this at Princess Auto, and really quick and dirty. You wrap it like this, and let me just, so you can put it on like that, and then you put something heavy on top, and it holds your pieces. Now I put them all on one, but you create one for stuff that you've gessoed and you're letting it dry, and these are ones that I have to prepare for painting, and so I have multiple wires for these types of things, and it just helps you keep the stuff aside so they can dry naturally overnight. Especially with wood, you want to avoid using a heat gun excessively to dry your wood pieces, because it is wood. All right, gesso, and with this, And this, you don't have to have a perfect finish on it. And avoid using a lot of water. So see how I just did that, and just I'm going to feather that out like this. And then I'm going to let that dry like that. Do the other one. What it is, you don't want to leave it like that because you're going to have a hard edge. Always feather it out. That'll give that part time to dry, then you can apply another one. We're going to be putting the interference paint on this, so that's why you don't have to worry about this being a perfect finish. So you let that dry, and then we're going to do the other side. Now this here, because it's such a thin coat, you could use your heat gun. That's dry. Whoopsie. See, that's why I don't like using the heat gun, because they fly everywhere. Okay, so that's why you have to, be careful. I should have did the other side. So very quick. So this is why, if you're going to make these to sell or to give as gifts, doing it as an assembly line, like just do a whole bunch at once, and you can get through so many. The other thing I was doing was I had tweezers that I was holding them in place with, and that helped a lot. Okay, that's that. And then when that's done, flip it over and do the other side. Oh, and before anybody asks, I'm using the Decor Media Gesso because I ran out of the chalky black gesso. That's the only reason why. Because the chalky gesso is what I go to for everything. All right, so they're primed. So now we're going to go over to the interference. And really, you can get these in whatever color. There's gold, there's blue, there's turquoise, there's magenta, there's violet, there's green. So it's going to need a little bit. Always start small. Now let me get a real good close-up here, and hopefully I can do this where you can see. Hopefully the camera will focus. I want you to watch what happens. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now don't over coat these. One coat, let it dry before applying another coat. And make sure you don't have any ridges of paint like that. Make sure you don't have that. This, you have to have a smooth coat. Because you have the white ridges, it may not dry properly. So this, now I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to flip it over, paint the other side. And if it needs another coat, I'll put another coat. If not, I'm just going to varnish it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the silver, and pull that off. Now when painting edges like this, I always struggle because I always end up getting paint in the front. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to try with a sponge, and the key is not a lot of paint and not a lot of pressure. So just to dab, and make sure your hands are clean without any lotion or anything like that, because you're holding the earring. And if you have stuff on your hands, the varnish isn't going to go on properly if you choose to varnish them. See? So I'm going to do one this way. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. And I'm going to... let me just grab my thingy here. My friend Allison made this for me. Stay inspired. I'm just going to hold that like that. Now the other way, and thank you, Allison, is to load the sponge really well and then very little pressure and drag. You'll know when you have... see, I got a little bit on this side now. So you'll know, though, what the right pressure is depending on the paint, how much you load, and all that stuff. So what the challenge you run into when you're just dabbing is because you're not using a lot of pressure. You're getting the paint just on the outside. Because this is laser cut, the depending on the laser, the wood seems to be like a little bit of a tiny little U-shaped. So as I'm doing this, it's just the majority of it is getting on the outside edge. But when you use a little bit more pressure, it fills up those crevices. But then you run the risk of that happening. Okay, so let me see if I can actually fix that. Just by a little bit of little baby wipe. That's why you have to make sure that everything, I mean, that doesn't look bad. You just have to make sure that it is dry, and that's dried, so I waited too long. So what do you do with that? Well, you can either leave it, make the earrings all like this, or base coat it black, and then put on the interference paint again. So since I'm going to have to do that anyways, with a brush, just go onto a side that's not done. This requires a little bit more work because you're having to have such a steady hand, which is something I don't have anymore. Well, that was a better job than with the sponge. You can use a Krylon marker as well. But I just want to try to keep the supplies to what you already have. Okay. So that's that. Now with this one here. Yeah, see I got it on the edge. Actually, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad at all. Okay, so push, push, push. Just using the same amount of pressure. It looks like there's an edge, like a trimming on it. See, happy accident. I like that. You know what? If I wanted to do that, I wouldn't be able to. Like I would try to go to the very edge. I couldn't get it that clean. Put that on there. Okay, so let's do this one now. You use very little paint. Like with the varnish that you saw what was left over in the previous scene, and then the actual interference, you only need a pea size amount. If it's not contaminated, just put it back in the bottle. Oh, that looks really nice. There we go. And what you don't want to do is you don't want it to look manufactured. These are homemade. And I've gotten to the point now where I haven't bought jewelry or a purse from a store. I buy everything that's made by hand. Now, especially the purse, it costs a lot more money, but it's something that's really unique. Done. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry. And now, by the time I clean this up, it'll be ready for varnishing. The varnish you choose is completely up to you. So, although I do have a specific brush for varnishing, it's way too big for this. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of... Now this is the gloss varnish. There's also high gloss, satin, soft touch, matte, and ultra matte. The finish is up to you. I just happen to like the high gloss and gloss. So just one light coat on a brush that's damp and blotted. And the number of coats, that's completely up to you. I wish that DecoArt had their triple thick indoor outdoor, but it's not, because that would be perfect for this. So let that dry, flip it over, then do the other side, then do these edges, let them dry. So without drying time, these earrings can easily be made in under 15 minutes. But don't set that as a goal. Think of quality though. But just think that when you're making these types of things, there's so many different things that you can do. So while these are drying, so look at, I'm experimenting with these ones here. This is the, let me just get it. This is the DecoArt Suede, which is a lightly textured acrylic. That's that. And then I've got resin inside. And my experiment with that was filling an open back piece without the resin sinking through. that didn't work. So I have to do it before painting. So this is all experimenting, because usually I was working with Argentium silver or sterling silver. And then that's the same thing. Okay, so just working with that. What I'm working with now is using clay with liquid glass, the Decor liquid glass. And that, I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be trying that tonight. Tonight. I'm so excited to do that. Because with that, you put the clay inside, and then you can use the Decor Americana, like the enchanted paints, or even the interference paints, the extreme sheen paints. Mix this with black to create this. Where did it go? To create that marbled look. Don't need to do it with resin. Okay, you can just do it with paint, and you only need a small layer. Then fill it with liquid glass. It is. I did it with a resin clay, and it worked out perfectly. There's no reason why you can't use just air dry clay. And what I'm waiting for from Amazon is DAS, the DAS clay. I'm gonna try it and see what happens. So, but anyways, so just going to varnish the sides now, and you can see why this would come in much. This would be really handy if this was done in batches. Okay, let that dry, and try not to use a heat gun on this. You want the varnish to dry naturally. And then flip it over, do the other side, and then once that's done, we're going to put on the jump ring, and I'm going to show you how to do it easy peasy, and how to put on the earring wire. So I'm going to show you why I use two, and hopefully the camera will focus. I wonder if that's too close. Okay, so when you get when you get jump rings, they're like this. Okay, a solid, come on, focus, a solid piece like that, and there's a cut in the middle. Now you can buy these made. I make my own, but you can buy these in little packages. Sometimes wherever you are, you can get maybe a package of 50 for, I don't know, maybe $3-4, depending on where you are. I don't know, but I make my own out of sterling silver, argentium silver, and copper, because I'm really getting into copper. So what you do is you need to split it. We don't open the ring. Paper. Okay, so the ring is like this. We don't open it this way. What we do is we take it and we open it this way. We don't go like this, we go like this. And the more work that you do on a jump ring, it hardens and it gets brittle. So hopefully, focus. Where's the split? So what you want to do is take it, just a gentle little turn, so it looks like that. Okay? And then all you're going to do, now depending, do you want to wear the earrings this way? Do you want to wear the earrings this way? It's completely up to you. So you put it against your face and you decide how you want to wear it. So let's just put it this way. And what you're going to do is put it through the ring. Put it through the hole, I should say. Okay. And then the earring hook, you're just going to put that on there. I usually take my glasses off for this, but then I can't see the monitor. And then take your pliers and put it back. And you just kind of go back and forth until they are together. And there we go. All done. So I'm going to do the other one. Now the other ones I already did. You can do this with one hand, but you got to be careful, because with this finger here, I actually split my nail and it won't heal. So use pliers if you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one the other way so you can see. Oh man, I need to take my glasses off. Hopefully I did this right. I gotta take my glasses off. So this one is this way, and then this one is this way. It's the other way. So again, just temporarily put it and hold it against your face to decide which way you want to wear it. Okay, so this one, the long part's going to be facing forward, and this one here, the short part, is going to be facing forward. So that's completely up to you. So I want to turn mine around, and to do that, all I'm going to do is very carefully reopen the jump ring and only take the earring hook off and then flip it around. Nope, wrong way. Hang on, I gotta flip that around the other way. Flip the whole piece around. There we go. Yeah, I gotta take my glasses off when doing this. And when you're actually opening and closing, you want to minimize this because the metal will harden. Okay, and there we go. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you now how to package these up on little jewelry cards and to show you how to present them. Alrighty, it's the moment of truth. So when you're packaging up the earrings, I mean, you can buy cards like this. You don't have to buy this stuff. Just get some cardstock, get an awl, and just punch a hole. That's all you need, because then you can paint it or sign it or do whatever. You don't have to buy cards like this, but you can buy them on I get everything on Amazon because we don't have suppliers like that up here. So get those, you fold them over, you staple them, okay? Then you have something like that, and they're meant to go onto an actual hook. And these are great for craft shows or for shows that you're in. But again, you don't have to buy them. You can make them out of cardstock, but you just basically put them in here like this, and you guys know you guys have gotten earrings before, okay? And then you can put them into a little box like this. See, the problem is now the card's too big. You can put them into a little box like that, or you can actually just display it like that. And if you can take some of this foam and you can split it and put the foam on top, wrap a ribbon or put some tissue on it. And you can also just wrap it in tissue and then put it into a nice little gift bag like this. This is what we ship all our Caribbean jewelry that we've made. A lot of it's all resin stuff. We ship it in stuff like this. Wrap it in beautiful turquoise tissue and send it like that. So that's it. That's all that's all there is to it. So, but if you're making it for yourself, then you don't need to worry. But how beautiful are these little earrings, two-sided, and this is the absolute basic on these things. So in upcoming videos, I'm going to be showing you how to create 3D pieces, attaching pieces, how to do a faux resin style, and it's all going to be based on, because of the pandemic, people are looking for other ways to make money. And if you love jewelry and you love doing arts and crafts, why not make some money out of it? So I'm going to be sharing those tips and techniques with that. If you want to give them as gifts, Christmas, inexpensive, I mean, there you go. We're going to be doing mixed media jewelry, a lot of wire work, but everything that I'm going to be using and showing, yeah, I would say 99.9% of it is all going to be acrylic based. You're not going to have to go out and buy anything expensive to make anything other than, the earring hooks and, and all that stuff's inexpensive. It's your choice whether you just want to use like a silver coated, but earring hooks, they should be either surgical steel or stainless steel. You don't want to cheap out on the earring hooks because that's, you don't want somebody getting an infection. But even like the jump rings or other wire stuff, it's up to you whether you want to use sterling silver or copper or argentium. That's, pricier, or you can just use chrome coated or just silver coated. What it is, it's copper wire coated with a layer of silver or a layer of gold. That way, when you see copper, you'll see gold coated, gold plated, electroplated, all that stuff, because it's not solid. It's less expensive, not as good quality, but it's less expensive. So, but that's up to you how you want to do that. Alrighty, so what I would like to hear from you is what type of videos you'd like to see, what type of projects you'd like to see for your specific interest. Okay, if you're thinking about getting into selling jewelry or making, stuff to sell, or even just for gifts, what type of things can I help you with? And if I know how to make it, I will do it and I will share it gladly. Alrighty, so if you enjoyed this lesson, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and I look forward to reading your comments. Alright, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.